Our next guest is considered one of the great American songwriters. He has a new 3-CD collection of songs called Orphans, Brawlers, Ballers, and Bastards. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tom Waits. Tom. Welcome back to the show, Tom.
Thanks a lot, Dave.
Where do you live now?
I live in a place called Spittleville.
Spittleville.
Spittleville. It's there's a lot of towns around the same area that have names of secretions.
Really?
I don't know how that happened.
I don't know how that would happen either. But is this on the West Coast? Is it in California?
It's in California.
Yeah. Did you have a nice Thanksgiving, big family gathering and stuff there?
I raked a lot of leaves.
That's good.
It's the only way I can be alone during the holidays, because no one wants to help you, and it's
Yeah, I understand that.
just you and the.
And what do the kids do for Thanksgiving?
Well, you know, it's normal to a certain point, and then I overheard my son saying to a friend of his who said, well, what have you been doing? He says, well, you know, we watch a lot of TV, and I said later to him, I said, you don't watch a lot of TV. We don't have a TV. I shot the TV.
Is that right? You actually shot the TV?
He says, I'm not talking about television, Dad. I'm talking about turkey vultures.
Turkey vultures.
You know? And that's what we watch a lot of in town. Turkey vultures.
What can one learn from observing the turkey vultures?
Well, you know, they have a humiliating experience, and you know, most of them are hit by cars while dining. So it's not easy. And the problem is they're so light that they eat and they eat and they eat, and then they can't take off.
Really? They consume so much food that they can't take flight.
So you got to choose between getting hit by a car or throwing up.
Wow.
It's a tough choice.
That is humiliating.
You know,
so at the very end, if they want to save their lives, they have to...
They have to throw up, and then they can fly again.
Oh, my God.
So, but, you know, I mean, there are a lot of things that we all go through that are just as humiliating.
Well, I suppose that's true.
Like trying on clothes or... you know...
Yeah.
So, but I feel for them.
Yeah. Now, do you enjoy living in a small town, Tom?
Well, I do and I don't. You know, when I first moved up, I felt like an unplugged appliance, and it took some time to get used to where I was. And the problem is at the supermarket, people get very friendly, and they want to look at all the things that you purchased, and then they want to build a story about them. They feel compelled. I hate it. You know? Yeah. So now the things that I choose to purchase aren't really things I want. They're only things I think will make a good story or a less embarrassing story. You know,
The cashier kind of puts together a narrative of your life based on the items.
A quick one, a quick sketch. You know, like, well, if it's pizzas, oh, pizza party. Or, you know, but if it's razor blades and toilet paper, you know, it's just, you know, you don't want to go there.
No, I guess not. Oh boy, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
Now I consider you a well-read man, perhaps scholarly. But what kind of things? What's the most important lesson you learn from reading? Is it some great general notion about life, or is it more specific, sort of silly little everyday kind of things?
Well, I wouldn't say silly, but I would say every day. You know, the most interesting thing I heard lately was my father-in-law sent me a lot of strange and unusual facts, and one of them was the origin of dead ringer.
Yeah, it's a phrase you hear all the time.
You hear it all the time, but most of us have no idea.
I have no idea what it means.
No,
dead ringer is like, you're a dead ringer for Tom Waits.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how I would use it.
You're a dead ringer for Dave.
That's right, yeah.
You know? So, but what happened was, I have to go way back in time, back to maybe the 16th century. The tomato was considered a poisonous fruit. No one would eat tomatoes. But the problem was they'd been served on lead plates, and the lead was leaching into the tomato. And but it was giving the appearance of death. And a doctor in the community realized that most of the people that had been buried recently hadn't actually expired. And it was an alarming.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to get to the bottom of that and stamp it out.
They opened the lid of several coffins and they found scratch marks.
Oh, yeah.
So the new law was that they had to tie a string around everyone who died. You had to have a string around their wrist, and you run it up through the roof of the coffin, and you put it over the limb of a tree, and you put a bell on the end of the string. And that would connote a dead ringer.
It's a dead ringer, yeah. Well, I'm glad we got to the bottom of that. But it would.
There's one other thing. There's one other job involved, and that would be the guy who has to sit in the chair in the graveyard and listen for the dead ringer.
bells, yeah.
And that's called the graveyard shift.
Oh, well, there you go. How about that?
Interesting. Yeah.
Costs you a little more, but well worth it, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, when we come back, you're going to sing something from the new collection?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We'll be right back with Tom Waits, everybody. Pop, pop. Always a pleasure, Tom. All right. And now it's time for Tom Waits again. The new CD collection is entitled Orphans, Brawlers, Ballers, and Bastards. Here he is, Tom Waits. Tom.
You got to lie to me, baby. You got to lie to me, baby. You got to lie to me, baby. Lie to me, baby. Move on. Whoa. You got to lie to me, baby. You got to lie to me, oh, baby. You got to lie to me, oh, baby. Lie to me, baby. Move on. I know you got yourself a skinny old man. Let me be your baby, I just know that I can. Hit me, baby, give me your grief. I have no use for the truth. You got to lie to me, oh baby. You got to lie to me, oh baby. You got to lie to me. Lie to me, baby, move on. Whoa, you got to lie to me, oh baby. You got to lie to me, oh baby. You got to lie to me. Baby, lie to me, baby, move on. Whoa. I know you got yourself a darkie at home. Let me be your baby, I just know that I can. Hit me, baby, give me your grief. I have no use for the truth. You got to lie to me, oh baby. You got to lie to me, oh baby. You got to lie to me, oh baby. Lie to me, baby, move on. Well, all right. I know you got yourself a skinny old man. Let me be your baby, I just know that I can. Quit me, baby, give me your grief. I have no use for the truth. You got to lie to me. You got to lie to me, baby. You got to lie to me, baby. Lie to me, baby, move on. You got to lie to me, baby. You got to lie to me. You got to lie to me, oh baby. Lie to me, baby, move on. Lie to me, baby, move on. You got to lie.